Hey, hello, chess lovers, and welcome back to Chessway. In this video, I will discuss a very interesting chess game played between Mikhail Tal and Rob Marshal. This game happened on September 23rd, 1990. All right, the game begins with pawn to f4, guys. Tal responds with d5. Then knight to f3 and knight to c6, followed by pawn to e3. And the bishop immediately comes out to g4, pinning the knight to the queen. White does not answer with bishop to e2 or bishop to b5, but instead plays pawn to b3. It looks like he wants to challenge Mikhail Tal directly. Oh my god, bold move. All right, continuing. Pawn to e5, challenging the pawn. The offer is accepted. After the knight recaptured, finally plays bishop to e2, protecting the knight. Now Tal trades the bishop, and after recaptures, the game continues with knight to f6. Marshal continues his plan with bishop to b2, then Tal also develops his bishop to d6. Okay, Marshal uses the moment to castle short, but Tal doesn't wait long and plays knight to e4, attacking immediately. In my opinion, this is quite a bold move from Tal because if the bishop takes the knight and the pawn takes back, Black can play knight to c3, gaining a tempo, and that pawn becomes extremely hard to defend. But for some reason here, Marshal chooses knight to c3 first, which clearly allows Tal to continue his attack with queen to h4, adding even more pressure. Now, this is a unique position, my friends. I've seen this structure played by Kasparov before, where he had the white pieces and captured the knight with the bishop. After the pawn recaptured, White played rook to f4, and White was completely fine, actually slightly better. But I also want to know how you see this position, my friends. For example, if I play pawn to d3, so what would you play here as Black? I'm quite sure many of you would capture the bishop with the knight, giving check. And yes, that's good. But from now on, you need to know. There is something even better when the attacking pattern looks like this. And that is knight to g4, guys. Oh my god. Because with this move, White is immediately in trouble. The threat is queen takes pawn checkmate, and there are two knights covering the f2 square. Whatever White plays, it still leads to checkmate in 2. For example, pawn to h3. Black still plays bishop to h2 check, forcing the king to h1, and this ends in a brutal checkmate. This is just for reference. Taking the bishop earlier is also good, but this move is even better, guys. So I hope you now have two attacking references when facing this kind of structure. All right, let's return to the game. But I don't know what White was thinking in this position. He captures the d5 pawn with the knight. This is clearly a very big blunder because he ignores the attacking pattern we just talked about. I already mentioned, knight to g4 is the best move. But it seems like Mikhail Tal wants something even crazier. The queen is sacrificed on h2 check. Whoa! Mikhail Tal really does not like normal attacks. This forces the king to capture the queen. Then the knight takes the bishop with a double check. Boom! There are two possible replies, but if the king goes to h1, it ends with knight to g3 checkmate. So the king is forced to move up to h3. Then Black continues with knight to g5 check, forcing the king to g4. Then another sacrifice, pawn to f5 check. This position is interesting because there are two replies. If the king goes to h5, then pawn to g6 check, forcing the king to h6. The bishop pulls back to f8 check. The king cannot move and the bishop must block. Then it ends with knight to f7 checkmate. Wow, so dangerous. Let's return to the real game. White chooses the second option. He captures the pawn. Black continues with pawn to g6 check. Again, there are two choices, but if the king goes back, it is checkmate with pawn to h5. So the king is forced forward to f6. And then the game ends in the most insane way possible. A short castle checkmate. What? What is this? How is this even real? White completely underestimated Black's attacking potential. He blundered and allowed Tal's combination to become absolutely brutal.
Tal started with a queen sacrifice. He could have checkmated with a knight. He could have checkmated with a pawn. But no. Tal said, let me finish this with short castle and boom, checkmate. I have no idea how he calculates this stuff. Sacrificing a queen, knowing it leads to forced mate in 7 moves? This man is a legend. One of the greatest attackers in the history of chess.
But guys, I have to repeat this disclaimer over and over. I cannot guarantee the full authenticity of this chess game because it wasn't an official match under FIDE or the old USSR. It might be something like Hikaru's coffee chess games, casual and just for fun. So just enjoy it. Treat this as entertaining content. Thank you, chess lovers. See you in tomorrow's video.